To log in to the Little Bits website, you'll go up to Log In, then select Sign In with Google. Use your Hickman Mills email account, and there you are. I would suggest clicking on Getting Started to begin, and then click on the Educator Quick Start Kit. There's videos and information for you. What I found particularly helpful was the discussion on exactly what Little Bits are, and they are color-coded. The blue bits are the power bits. The green bits are the outputs, so they do something. They might spin, light up, move, make a sound. You control everything with the pink bits. You put a pink bit between your power and your output to add a control. So they might be buttons, dimmers, or sensors, things that receive direction from you, the programmer, or from the environment. And then you add more smarts with orange. Orange bits let you build your circuits in a new direction, like with a wire or a fork, or connect to other systems like coding on a computer. And it matters what order you put the bits in. Power bits always come first. Input bits, pink, only affect the output bits, green, that come after them. So if you put a green bit before the pink bit will not have anything to do with it. Another way to get started would be to select your kit. Scroll down. We're talking about the Little Bits code kit today, so we're going to click on that one. There's a quick guide. You'll get to know your code kit. It's a really great video. Here's where you will download the application for your Mac. It's right here. It downloads just like any other application, and then you install it. You'll find it later from the launch pad. Here's a debugging checklist, and here is Meet the Bits, and you can scroll through all the bits that come with the code kit. Pink are the input, green are the output, blue are the power, orange are the extra smarts. The lesson that we're going to walk through today is the Hello World lesson. So when you look at the beginning lessons, it's the one right in the middle. We're going to click. The lessons come with a lesson plan, lesson slides, a tutorial video, and then it'll show how it's aligned to various standards. You can download all of these, and they will open in your Google Drive. To make a copy of them, you go to File, Make a Copy, Entire Presentation, but you have to save it somewhere other than the folder it's already in. So I recommend use the back arrow and the back arrow again. And when you're just in the drive, save it there. You can go in later and put it into another folder. If you try to make a copy of the document while you're in the folder that belongs to Little Bits, you'll get an error message. The lessons start off with an agenda for you and your students. And this one says, program me, try out Little Bits, create our first program circuit with CodeKit, remix our circuit, and share what we've created. And this is our mission. We're going to build mini computers and use code to make games with little bit. So it tells the students exactly which bits to get. I had to look a little bit for the USB power bit. It's kind of small. So you can have someone in charge of getting your bits. Then connect the battery to the power bit. If the battery needs charged, instead of connecting it to the power bit, you will put the lightning end in the brick and the USB end into a wall outlet or an iPad charger. Now we're going to take a look at the circuit. I kept this up and used it as a reference as I built my circuit. And I think the first few times that you do activities with the students, that's a really good rule to follow, because you have to get used to where things need to go. The green bit that's connected to the LED matrix has a little slider that needs to be in the serial mode. Plug the code bit into our computer, open the CodeKit app, and click on Hello World. Now we're ready to get started with the Little Bits CodeKit app. We'll open it up and we're opening it up and clicking on the Hello World lesson. There's a little video to kind of walk you through things. And then our directions, which are included over here on the right, say to write a message. So we have a little box in here that, even though the activity is called Hello World, we can say whatever we want in here. So I'm going to say, hello, teachers. Okay, that will show up on the LED that I have on my code bit. We go to the bottom right and it says connect your code bit. I click on the little button, the little arrow, and it says Comical Dolphin is the name of my code bit. So I'm going to connect it, and it says I'm all connected. Now, if your code bit has been used before, you'll want to clear the code, because otherwise it stays, so it just gets piled and piled and piled. So I'm going to clear my code bit. So right now it has no code. And then I'm going to upload my code by clicking upload. As soon as you see it green and uploaded, you can go over to your code bit and push the button on the pink bit, and you will see your message scroll across the LED screen. Another option for this particular task is to take the text box and drag it to the trash can. Go over here to the image blocks, and we're going to create an image on the LED matrix. So I'm going to click and drag this block to the programming window and then snap it up against the weight block. I'm going to click on the screen. I'm going to use the red pen to color in the different bricks. And I've made a heart. Up here you'll see done. When you click on that, that will save your coding. You'll see here that now it's going to show a heart. And if I upload the code I cleared the code bit first, and then press on my button, my LED matrix will show the image that I coded. Before we leave the application, I'd like to walk you through some of the other coding blocks that are available. We've seen the images. This image says send the image and then rotate it. We have colors for different outputs that are lights. Here's our text. Again, I can change the color of the text and I can change the message. I can put things in quotations. The sounds, we have different green output bits that will make sound. That's what the pink blocks will code. Input, output will tell us where we're going to get the signal from. And remember, the pink bits are the input bits. And you'll notice this has green around it because we're going to send that signal to an output. The timing blocks give us options for our program to wait, to start a timer, stop a timer in a game, to reset a timer, and to wait for different options. The logic blocks are an if-then, or if this, do this, unless this is happening. So that one's a really fun one to work with. The loops, this will help your program repeat certain sections so that it'll go over and over. Math, so you can program it to understand math problems. Variables, if it finds this, then do this. And then the functions, different functions that you can program the bits. These are all part of, I'm not going to say that, the different lessons that you can try. Each one starts with a video. The first few have very detailed codes that are already programmed that you can go in and debug and change. You can always go back to the Little Bits website and go to the resources and go to Bitpedia. Bitpedia tells you what every single one of the bits is and what it can do. For instance, this is the button bit. Here's how it works. Here's a real world example of things that are made with buttons. And here's a little bit of geek speak. There's also a link to educator tips. And one of my favorite is when you have kids that are finishing early, you have a prime opportunity to have them teach someone else. So that's what this experiment is about. When the kids finish early, you move them on to become the teacher with another group. This works in teacher training as well as working with kids. There's also a piece on classroom management for assigning student roles. For instance, someone might be in charge of getting the blocks. Someone might be in charge of maybe storyboarding out what they think the code should be. Someone might be in charge of the actual coding, and someone could be in charge of building the circuit. So there's a lot of information on the Little Bit website. So you can also go in and choose different activities in different subject areas for that particular kit. That way you know that you have the bits that are necessary.